Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending 2nd of May 2026. A dinner for the press becomes a scene of distress as Trump survives an act of lawlessness. Nevertheless, Charles and Camilla still show willingness to progress with their trip to the US, which is assessed as a success, especially the King's address to Congress. Keir won't face an inquest over how he expressed the due process re the Mandelson mess. In Golders Green, a knifeman possessed puts Jews into a state of stress. With finesse and prowess, Sawe has the athletics world very impressed. It was 2:30 a.m. Sunday in the UK when sensational news broke from the USA. At the Washington Hilton, all had been fine, a gala dinner for guests to dine and drink wine. Distinguished journalists having a fine time, lauding those who meet deadlines to provide their headlines. Raising money and praising industry winners at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner. But suddenly the headline was the event itself. A guy had slipped into the venue with stealth. The scene developed into a real humdinger as the lone wolf tried to take out the gunslinger. His target was Trump, for whom this was his debut as the US president at the Newshound's Big Do. Since 2011, it was an event he'd boycotted because Obama had mocked him and he never forgot it. This one won't be forgotten, if of that there's no doubt, the night when Trump was almost taken out. But he wasn't taken out, just taken out of danger from the rage of a tooled-up, uninvited stranger. The event was quickly scratched, and 2 hours later, Trump spoke to the press as the great communicator. Meanwhile, the police arrested and named the perpetrator. Cole Thomas Allen is a self-proclaimed Trump hater. This major incident caused some to reassess our King's proposed state visit to the US. A few tweaks were made and security was heightened, but the King seemed undaunted, quite unfrightened. On Monday, he and Camilla took off as planned and landed at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. The 4-day trip was to ensure royal attendance to mark 250 years since US independence. An embassy garden party got things in the swing, 650 guests to welcome the Queen and King. Next day, Charles gave what turned into a real star turn, a speech to Congress that made Trump's ears burn. With a potent mix of timing, wit and bonhomie, Charles stood up to Trump with stand-up comedy. Subtle British humour in everything he said, most of which probably passed over Trump's head. More political than ever it was with the Queen, more pointed than the monarchy had previously been. He had Congress standing up for a dozen ovations, eating out of his hand throughout the oration. Trump wasn't present, he wasn't allowed, but the jokes and innuendo he heard clear and loud. Trump swallowed his pride, as fine cuisine was swallowed at the spectacular White House state banquet that followed. Indeed, Trump looked pleased as punch as he and Charles munched lunch, but many experts had a hunch that there would come a crunch. Not a crunch on a crouton in the garden vegetable soup, but the crunch of a classic Trump verbal bloop. But no awkward moment came, no comment to sting, although he did claim his mother once fancied the King. The third day offered more chance to mingle and talk, visiting various landmarks across New York. And that was that. The royal couple's trip was done, and it was widely praised by almost everyone. Even the most anti-royal fault finder had to admit King Charles had played a blinder. For those doubting the worth of a trip so risky, Charles got US tariffs scrapped on British whiskey. Back in Blighty, Sir Keir just can't catch a break from the self-inflicted Mandelson headache. Tories called for a vote Tuesday afternoon intended to signal the PM's looming doom. The debate was about whether the PM should be referred to the Commons Privileges Committee regarding Mandy's job hire. Had Parliament been misled by how Starmer had explained things, the words that he said? Kemi had called for a vote to undermine Sir Keir, but with Labour members whipped, the outcome was clear. By 223 to 335, the vote was lost and Sir Keir survived. Late morning on Wednesday in Golders Green came a terrorist attack on a common theme. Two Jews going about their daily routine found themselves in a horror scene unforeseen, stabbed by a sado with views obscene, probably sponsored by a foreign regime. The two men survived, but the event brought fear to all of the Jewish community living here, and the terror threat level was raised to severe for the first time in 4.5 years. Severe means an attack is highly likely, which is the second highest it can be. Crikey. May the 1st and the Renters' Rights Act became law. May the fist of government bang on the landlord's door. Tenants to be given more rights and more clout, while many scared landlords are bailing out. Landlords and tenants are good in the main, but as always the legislation's main aim is to correct bad players on both sides of the fence. But good players often suffer as a consequence. For many years, distance runners seeking the holy grail of running a sub-2-hour marathon have failed. For Sebastian Sawe, the London Marathon's his summit. Both times the Kenyan has run it, he's won it. Last year he finished 2 minutes over 2 hours, but his time on Sunday showed superhuman powers. Sawe's clearly an athlete with whom we should reckon, and for him fame, fortune and history now beckons. His time, 1 hour, 59 minutes, 30 seconds.